You know, as a kid watching Ninjago, I never really cared about Lloyd. Like, sure, I wanted his figures. I wanted the Jungle Raider from Tournament of Elements or his Golden Ninja figure, which was highly sought after. But when it came to the character, I can't really remember thinking about him too much. Same goes for Cole back then, but honestly, that's a whole other story. But it was weird, right? It was this prophesized green ninja, but for some reason, I never really cared for him and his green energy balls, which I hated when I was a kid, but now I kind of wish they'd bring it back because I much rather prefer that to his green sparkle effect that they have on so many different characters' elemental powers nowadays. But anyways, I never paid too much attention to Lloyd until Sons of Garmadon. I feel like this season did to Lloyd what Master of the Mountain did for Cole. It gave us a glimpse of what being the Green Ninja really is and why Lloyd, this bratty little son of Garmadon, was always the best choice for this role. Up until this point, we always knew Lloyd never had it easy walking the path of the son of Garmadon. But I feel like back when Lloyd was chosen to be the Green Ninja, it seemed more like a gift that anyone would want and gladly take. But in Sons of Garmadon, as Lloyd steps into this more mature role as a leader of the ninja, we realize that the Green Ninja isn't defined by his powers, but more by his ability to be able to be alone and ability to endure. Lloyd is honestly kind of lonely at the top. He fell in love, yet he got betrayed. He has friends, yet has to make the call to do things himself sometimes, like when he locked the ninja and the bounty to go off and fight the now resurrected Garmadon himself. The Green Ninja cannot lead with hate or he becomes no better than an Oni, so Lloyd must always pick the merciful side. As Harumi puts it, he is trusting, gullible, and weak. Now, apart from the weak part, Lloyd is trusting and gullible because he chooses to see the good in everyone. That has gotten himself absolutely abused in the past. Like when he tried to reason with his dad, yet got absolutely beaten, which that scene was really sad to see as Lloyd kept holding on to this little glimmer of hope that his dad might be somewhere inside that shell of a demon that is Garmadon, even to the very end. Only letting go of their picture together when he was knocked out completely unconscious. But sometimes it works the other way around, like when Lloyd decided to wait for Aquino at the portal, knowing full well he was an NPC character and could betray him later. Then we have Dragon's Rising, which I feel like was the last part in solidifying Lloyd as one of the greatest, most consistently written characters in the show. And here's why I say that, because I know that's a huge thing to say, greatest character in the show. And the reason I say that is because some standouts that you might say are the best Ninjago characters like Nia or Garmadon always mess up somewhere in terms of writing. With Nia, her character arc from sister to samurai to water ninja to merging with the ocean was so consistent and perfect. Yet when Crystallized rolled around, it felt like she regressed a little and went back a couple years. I didn't have a problem with Nia coming back and being a samurai again. I actually think even the way she came back from being the ocean was near perfect, apart from maybe introducing Nia after her sacrifice in Seabound a little too fast. The problem was that the way she was introduced back into the show, it felt like the whole Seabound merging with the ocean bit wasn't even necessary. Garmadon was also a similar case. He was perfect until crystallized, and I'm starting to notice a theme here. A lot of these characters were perfectly fine until crystallized. I think original Garmadon was pretty funny and compelling as a good man with a bad destiny forced upon him, and it was really sweet to see through all that his love for Lloyd somehow always penetrated the evil flowing in his veins. Even more sweeter is that even when only the bad part of him was resurrected in Sons of Garmadon, Hunted, and March of the Oni, we see that his love for Lloyd still somehow made it through into this version of himself. He hesitates when attempting to crush the battle wagon in Hunted, and seeing the black smoke cover up a painting of Lloyd in March of the Oni triggers something in him to fight for the greater good. Garmadon's brief sensei form also made perfect sense for the character. However, when Crystallized rolled around, this character's perfect streak definitely ended. I enjoyed some bits of it, like Garmadon and Christofern's relationship. I feel like it was just the right amount of silly to still be taken seriously. But I feel like the whole pizza eating thing and funny evil gags like popping kids' balloons just didn't work. I don't think the comedic approach was the right way to go with Garmadon here. They had the right ingredients with where they were going with Garmadon's character, but it just needed to be more serious. March of the Oni did a really good job maintaining the emotional value and making subtle humor while not making a joke out of Garmadon himself. If you've read the Garmadon comic series, it does so much better of a job dealing with Garmadon's changing perspectives on how he sees the world. Back to Lloyd though, what I was saying is that unlike all these other heavy hitter Ninjago characters that could be contending for some of Ninjago's best characters, Lloyd doesn't have any major event breaking his streak from being a well-written character. Granted, his development was really slow, with the idea of Master Lloyd being introduced in 2017 and him actually becoming a proper formal master in 2024 of Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 2, which is a 7-year gap. But slow isn't really much of a problem for me in hindsight as long as they stayed consistent with it, which they did. And there were odd decisions like turning him into an Oni for a couple seconds, but while that decision from a story perspective was kind of bad, from a character perspective I think it makes total sense. Him getting scared of becoming his dad is very anticlimactic, especially when we've been waiting for so long for his Oni form, but it's definitely something he does do. It's just placed in the wrong part of the season. Now going back to Dragon's Rising and how it solidified Lloyd's character, there was one scene that basically inspired me to make this entire video. There's this little flashback Lloyd has when the ninja are cornered in Imperium with the Photak wolves beating the dragons up. Lloyd has this moment where he feels extremely helpless as the background is blurred and all we hear are dragons crashing down and chaos driving the ninja to defeat. The scene was done so well because you can just see how desperate Lloyd feels as he's the one who led the charge here, and if this mission fails it would be on him. Then he sees Master Wu waving his special training ropes. This calls back to the flashback scene we were introduced to at the beginning of the episode, where we see Master Wu training Lloyd in the rain and teaches him the lesson that when there is no calm outside of you, find the calm inside. Find your inner peace, your balance, and the outer chaos will go away. I think this scene does so much for Lloyd's character. First of all, it shows how much Lloyd struggled as a kid since he was prophesized to basically save the world. The whole weight of the world rested on his shoulders, so he never really had a childhood. Now, the Ninjago Child's Play episode talks about the same thing where Lloyd is shown to want a childhood, but not have too much time for it. Then the ninja turn into kids and understand the value in having a childhood and letting kids be kids, only for Lloyd to sacrifice all that and grow older through a growth elixir in the process. While this episode did get the ball rolling for me, I feel like the more serious tone of the flashback with Lloyd training over and over again in the harsh weather, with not much sympathy from Wu either, drove the idea of how much Lloyd actually has sacrificed to be the Green Ninja for me. Through Dragon's Rising, as Lloyd rises more into his master role, we also see how lonely and scary that gets. He has had these visions of a graveyard of ninja, which I think represents what he fears most if he took full responsibility for a ninja team. I think his nightmares, which double as visions, are a good way to represent how all of this Green Ninja business from a very young age has really done a number on his nerves. He almost has this sort of PTSD that's catching up to him as he goes in states of panic from time to time. This further drives home how much Lloyd has really been through over the years for me. I think being a master and also having those visions isolate him a lot from the rest of the team, since he has these issues that only he is in the position to act on. Like Nia said when they were traveling to find the ancient master to teach them how to fight Shatterspin, the legendary Green Ninja has never let us down. While all these ninja are literally here for Lloyd no matter what, that also doubles as a problem for Lloyd since they will literally listen to anything Lloyd says or makes a decision on. And that's a problem Lloyd has to solve internally. I wonder if Master Wu ever felt like that when he was leading the ninja team. In the end, throughout Ninjago's years, it was unclear what made the Green Ninja so special. Was it his power? Was it the ability to have compassion when hatred was at its highest? I know Kai would have destroyed Garmadon if he was the Green Ninja. Or was it just being a grandchild of the first Spinjitzu master? I think the meaning of the Green Ninja has been clearly set to be a path of struggle and pain, and the ability to bring life even in the worst of circumstances. The Green Ninja is a symbol of hope, as we see how Eren sees him in the beginning of Dragon's Rising, and as we see Lloyd inspire the hearts of many by giving his "We Rise" speech in Hunted. That's what makes the Green Ninja truly legendary.